Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Andy Osheroff, and I'm the director of USM's Career and Employment Hub. And today marks a great occasion. It is our first ever Internship Showcase. And today we're going to be celebrating the experiences of our students and alumni and some of the experiential learning that they've had while they've been students here. And so you'll see a range of different student experiences from our first panelists in arts and humanities and social sciences, all the way through some of our grant-funded internship programs, service learning and volunteerism, and some of our other colleges. So we're really thrilled to be celebrating this experience today with all of you. Hopefully it is a great learning opportunity for other students to learn how to access these phenomenal opportunities and have some of these experiences. So we're thrilled to begin. Our first panel starts at 11:15, and then we'll be rolling pretty much throughout the day. So looking forward to it, and please post questions in the chat there, and we'll be sure to reach out to you. And I just want to also note that Career Week is going on throughout the week here at USM. So today is all about internships and Internship Showcase. Tomorrow and Wednesday, we have workshops for students and alumni, and on Thursday is our job and internship fair. So we're looking forward to a great week, and yeah, I hope to see you throughout the week. Thank you.
So 11:15 on the dot. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to the panelists. Good morning to everybody here in the room. And of course, good morning to everybody here online. My name is Peter. I'm a career liaison for the College of Arts and Humanities and Social Sciences. And we will talk about the internship experiences of some of our students. They will share their experience with you. And of course, hopefully give you some tips and tricks and some insights based on their experiences. I think the easiest way to go about this is just for our panelists to introduce themselves. They're all students from the College of Arts and Humanities and Social Sciences, so they all have the performer gene in them. Yeah, I would just say we'll get started. Just introduce yourself real quick. Maybe tell us your name, your major, and maybe your internship experience. Okay.
I'm Brooks. I am a theater major in the performance track, and I did a voiceover audio editing internship with Dagaz Media.
I'm Emily Bartley. I'm a musical theater major, and I was a part of Maine State Music Theater this summer.
Awesome. Hi, my name is Julia Moniz. I am a theater major with a focus in directing and literature. And over the last couple months, I've been working at the Children's Museum and Theater of Maine.
Hi, I'm Daniel Verrier. I am a double major in voice performance and music education. In this fall, I am student teaching. I just finished up at Poland Regional High School, and starting tomorrow, I'll be at Falmouth High School until December.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shelby Hagan. I am a senior in the music education department at USM. I am classical trumpet. That's my focus. And then in the spring, I will be at Freeport at Moore Street School, and that is pre-K, first and second grade. And then my second placement is Bonnie Eagle Middle School. So.
Thank you very much, guys. I can already tell that I love working with you guys. The way you talk, the way you project to the room, fantastic, fantastic. Shelby, why don't we start with you, since you're all the way in the back here, okay? How did you find out about your internship?
So basically what USM does in music ed, what they do really well is within the first year that you're at school as a freshman, they put you in the field. A lot of other schools don't do that with music ed, but then your senior year is when you will sign up for your senior internship. So you have to get to the student teaching, and you can have requests. If you need a car, let's say, they'll put you as someone who has a car, so you're able to get to your student teaching if it needs to be closer to home. But yeah, I just requested because I want to teach K through 3, you know, general music. And then I said middle school. I like chaotic energy, so
that's why you're here. Okay, great. Daniel, I saw you nodding along. How did you find out about your internship?
Yeah, just going off what Shelby said, the great thing about the music ed program is from like the third week of school, you're in a classroom, like working with students. So you really get a sense of like, do I want to do this? And it's not just like waiting until the internship to be like, oh, wait, maybe I don't want to teach. So it was a good like build up and preparation for that. For me, I really wanted to work with 2 high school choral groups. So that's where I was placed, both in Poland and Falmouth.
So both of you basically expressed what you were looking for and got basically met. Well, that's perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Juliet, what was the application process for you like?
Awesome. I initially found out about the Children's Museum and Theater of Maine through the head of the theater department, Sarah Valentine, who encouraged me to audition. I didn't get cast in my initial audition, and then I followed them on like social media, Facebook, Instagram. And when you're auditioning for a play, it's not really an application. It's more of you have to show your skill set. And so I went to a general audition where I had to sing and read a side, which is like a piece of the script. And then I went to a callback, which is where they have you read more specific scenes from the play you're auditioning for. And within a couple minutes, they told me I was cast. And so it was really nice. And then you do all like the onboarding and paperwork after you get cast. So like agreeing to your employment memo, your contract, things like that.
That's crazy. They basically you had to audition for your internship.
Yes.
Okay.
It's part of the job.
Emily, what was the application process for you like?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty similar to Juliet's experience. So through Maine State Music Theater, Ed Riker, who's the head of the musical theater department at USM, he has a very good connection. And so every year they try to get the directors of Maine State Music Theater to come to USM and do like a USM audition. So I auditioned with them through that, and we had like a dance call. We did a little bit of scene work, and we sang a song. And I found out it was a little while after the audition. I think we auditioned in February, and we found out in like April that we were in. And that's when I found out like what shows I was contracted for and what like mini events I would be doing throughout the season.
Oh, so you basically auditioned for your internship and then they placed you within?
Yeah, so yeah, they had 4 different shows going on. So they had The Sound of Music, Kinky Boots, The Color Purple, and Joseph. And so I got into The Sound of Music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Brooks, we haven't heard from you yet. That's probably because I haven't asked you a question yet. So, hey, how did your internship experience relate to your major? Remind us what your major is and how did your experience relate to that?
So my major is theater in the performance track. And for my internship, my dream is to become a voiceover actor and to create my own production company. So for my internship, I focused a lot on what goes into making a production and the different behind the scenes work, whether it's editing audio or reaching out with emails or dealing with customers. So I thought a lot more on the more production technical side, which was really helpful as someone that wants to create their own production company in the future.
Very good answer. You guys are great at answering, by the way. Okay. I mean, shouldn't sound so surprised. Okay. Shelby, let's go back to you. How did your internship experience relate to your major?
So it literally is what we want to do, basically, is how that goes down. They put you in where you want to go, and it sometimes may feel like they're throwing a fish out into the water and you just have to like figure out how to swim. And that was actually something that I found out. So I went recently and I saw my the Freeport, my first placement that is going to be happening. And it was interesting because she told the class like, oh, the last 2 weeks, Miss Hagan is going to be teaching you. And that's just such a cool to just see how it all directly just tracks back to what we've been training for the past 3 years.
That's funny, as if you know the next question, you know, you technically know, but you know, it actually leads into this. Okay. And we can stay right with you, Shelby. Did your internship experience shape your job search or future plans? And I would love to hear from all of you. So just answer the question down the line, basically. Okay.
Yeah. For music ed, it's very interesting how it works out for us. Actually, I think it was like a 90-something% job, like acceptance rate once we graduate. There are jobs that open up every year. I usually see about 5 or 6 job listings, I would say a year, right?
Yeah.
And so you get these connections, you go out in the school, you meet all these people, and they will remember you. And they will remember what you did for them, and like the connections you're making in these schools all relate back. And Maine is quite small. It might seem like a big state, but the connections are all there and it just spreads out.
Shelby, can you just repeat, because I thought that was quite impressive, actually. Could we repeat the placement rate, the percentage of how many of Music?
The job acceptance rate.
Yes, job acceptance.
I would say it's roughly 90%. I have not seen anyone actually struggle to get a job once we
Mhm.
graduate from our.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah. Daniel, so I'm going to repeat the question every time. Okay. Did your experience shape your job search or your future plans, basically?
Yeah, I've kind of been like, oh, do I want to perform or do I want to teach? And so like, I'm just kind of gonna do both for my life. That's what I decided. But the past 9 weeks in Poland, it started as mostly like an observation to see how the teacher's like running the class, like how she manages behavior stuff. Because that's something we don't really get to do until you're like actually in the classroom. It's like, how do we get students to stay on task? All that good stuff. So I really like got to transition from like a student, and then eventually I was teaching the full classes.
Oh, I see.
And even like filling in when my host teacher was out sick. So I really like saw that transition from student to teacher, and now I have like a good connection.
There you go.
My host teacher is now like a colleague to me. So,
Good.
yeah.
Soon will be anyway, you know.
Yeah.
Julian, how did the internship experience shape your job search or future plans? I think future plans is more interesting, to be honest.
Yeah. I have three main goals in life, and that is to direct, it is to teach, and it is to perform.
Mhm.
And I kind of got all three of those satisfied through this experience. At Maddie's Theater, which is the theater in the Children's Museum and Theater of Maine, we did the first intergenerational show of their season. And an intergenerational show is where you work with adults and kids in the cast at the same time.
Yeah.
So there were 3 adults, including myself, and 2 younger actors around the age of 14, 15. And it's a really lovely experience because as a older actor in the production, you get to mentor those 2 younger actors, not necessarily telling them what to do, but just being the example and helping them through the process, because it can be difficult at times. You're putting on a play. And it shaped my future plans because I now want to work at the Children's Museum and Theater for the rest of my life.
There you go.
I understand there's lots of opportunities in this world, but I think that company, their mission, their values of everyone being included and everyone having a place really rings true to what I want to do.
Yeah.
And it also allows me to direct, to teach, to act. Since getting cast in that first play, I'm on my 4th production with them now, and it's really lovely. I'm an ensemble teacher for them, meaning I teach acting classes with younger kids, and I continue to perform, and I hope to direct there soon.
Perfect. That sounds okay. All right. Sounds like a good follow-up here. Emily, how did your internship experience shape your future plans?
Yeah, again, also quite similar because we don't both did like the performing thing.
Yeah.
I definitely like being at Maine State was a really great experience. Like everyone there was like just wonderful to work with and like so many talented human beings. And I'm just like absolutely like blessed that I could have worked with some of these people.
Yeah.
And I want to do it more. And it really like helped me realize like I can do this, because like I feel like when you go into the arts, there's a lot of like self-doubt that you get. And like, you know, there's a lot of negativity that can come with that. And, you know, finally getting paid for something that I love. And it just kind of was like, yeah, I can do this and I want to keep doing this. And I definitely want to re-audition for them and get into more shows because I just had the time of my life. So, yeah.
I love that. That's great. Brooks, for you, did the how did the experience shape your future plans?
Yeah, so the world is a small place. I think I heard someone else say that. And that is especially true in the performance aspect, whether you are an actor, director, stagehand, production crew, whatever you are, because especially in a place like Maine, word gets around who you're working with. It's a small area and people work together a lot. So you work on one production in one spot, and then maybe someone in that production says, hey, there's an opening at this one. So it's really close net, and eventually everyone just starts to know each other. So when working on this, in my internship with the audio editing and the more production side, I got to meet a lot of contacts. And then from there, I'm already started to get offers from other people where they connect me, say, hey, I know someone in New York who has a job offer and needs, you know, a quick audio edit done. Can you do that? So it's just, it really helped me build contacts. So now it's like, now I know, oh, there are options out there that I can reach out to other people to get more work.
Yeah. It sounds like everybody had a very positive experience and has led to something even more positive. Let's flip the coin here. What are some challenges, not necessarily negative experiences, but what are some challenges that you guys experienced? Let's start at the end.
Well, actually, a challenge could be that one of your placements, like my second placement that I'm going to have, is something that I'm excited about, but there are challenges within that classroom that I have to figure out. And I think that is like as a teacher, but as a student teacher in that role, it's kind of hard because you're still a student. You are not a teacher yet. You do not want to go into the classroom thinking that you know more than that teacher because you're there to learn and to gain that knowledge. So I think that definitely like with that, there are some challenges in like where you're placed, but I think in any negative experience, you can always like comb through for the knowledge and for the what's the word? For just like the good things that you want, that you need to gain from that, even if it's not something that you might want to be in. So yeah.
You should be a motivational speaker. Daniel, what about you? What were some challenges that you would like to share with us?
I definitely agree with like the behavior stuff, because, we learn in music, like how to teach rhythms and how to teach notes, all these wonderful things. But what we don't really do a lot of is like, how do we keep students in the classroom? Like
Physically.
Yes. And also like engaged and like checking understanding. So these are all like skills that I feel like I've gained after like actually doing the thing, which is awesome. Another challenge for me was the schedule. Going from like a student where I kind of have some breaks throughout the day to just being on all day long, 5 days a week, and then going home, preparing for the next day and repeating every week. But that's how it goes in the real world. So it was a challenge and a good learning opportunity.
That's great.
Sure.
That's great.
Paid in the real world.
Yes.
You do get paid in the real world.
Well, it depends. Julian, what about you? Some challenges.
Being in a theater production, there's always unique challenges with like trusting yourself and finding the right character. The environment was so kind, and our director, who's also the theater artistic director of Maddie's Theater, Reba Ascari, was so awesome and so supportive. She knows really how to work with kids and adults. So like leveling out that energy and that enthusiasm and that skill level too. I had the very unique challenge of our lead actor, who is a child actor, got sick during the second week of runs. And so Reba asked me to step in for the lead role like a few hours before we started that weekend of shows. And I was very nervous about it. As soon as I got in the building, though, Reba and Emily Dixon, the stage manager, were like, no, you got this. Like, it's not about how many tickets we sold. It's just about sharing the story. And that's the most important thing. So like, I was worried about the quality of performance, and their only concern was that I was comfortable and that we were still able to tell the story. And so I played the lead role for those 4 or 5 shows. And I would definitely say that you're in a good place when you're met with adversity and the people who are around you are supportive and kind, and it doesn't add the pressure to you. It should remove it, if not make you feel completely at ease. And once I like got to that point, after all the like, oh my God, like I have to do this and I have to change. As soon as I got in the building, it was wonderful. And so that's how you know if you have a good internship, in my opinion, if you leave feeling more confident after facing that adversity.
Yeah. If you ever wonder what you should be doing in the future, you should open a motivational speaker office with.
Thank you. It's hard to teach, and I plan on it.
Emily, tell us about some of the challenges that you found.
Yeah,
You know what? Actually, being mindful of time, which is one of my favorite phrases.
Yeah.
Let's share something that was surprising to you. Again, in a good way and a better, maybe something you've learned, something you didn't realize was necessary, like working all day.
All day. Yeah, so I didn't say, so I had to understudy the role of the Baroness. And for those of you who don't know what understudying means, it's basically when you learn a role and you learn the lines and everything. And if something happens to that person, then you fill in for them. And I found out during the last 5 performances that I would be going on as that character because she ended up getting really sick and couldn't perform. And that was really nerve-wracking. And so that was like, I found out around like 10 o'clock in the morning. We had a 2 o'clock show. And so they quickly like ran me through all the blocking and went through the entire show with me really, really fast. And then I went on stage and performed. And I guess the surprising part was that I had never like understudied before in my life. And I was very nervous about it, but I was surprised with what I could do and how much I actually was able to remember. And I completed all 5 shows, which I was very happy about. So yeah, that would be
That's
Yeah,
impressive.
it was very crazy, but it was cool.
Brooks, one of the unexpected or most surprising things during your experience.
I think one of the most unsuspecting surprises that I had was when I forgot to click save and we lost power.
Oh,
So that
That's a
was
learning experience.
That was a learning experience. I learned that you gotta click save a lot. Like every time you finish a little thing, click save.
There you go. That's a good advice for any student.
Yeah,
For any student
but something I guess that I really found that surprised me was not taking on more than you can chew or more than you can do. I didn't necessarily have that, but there were definitely moments where I was like, I need to schedule myself better in order to be successful in what I've chosen to do. Because if this is something that I want to do, I want it to be my best work, and I don't want it to be sloppy or lazy. I want to put forward everything I can into what I'm trying to produce. And that was something that I sort of really learned while working on this, because I really wanted it to be the best that it could be.
Okay, great. Again, being mindful of time, we have a couple of minutes left. There's tons of questions left, but at the end of the day, please feel free, and let's go down the line again. Brooks, let's start with you this time, okay? Please share some insights, maybe something that you would have wanted to know yourself before you were looking into the internship, you know? Maybe some advice, something that comes to mind when I say, Brooks, please tell our students, our audience out there, in 1 or 2 sentences about your experience and what they should be mindful of.
I think the thing to remember is that we're students, and that with an internship, it's all about learning. And it's not that you have to necessarily know exactly what you're doing right when you start. Because I know for me, when I started, I had to look some things up, and I sort of had to self-teach myself some things that I didn't know, which I wanted to know anyway, but I got to self-teach. So I think, like, don't beat yourself up too much if you start something and you don't necessarily get it right off the bat. And the people you're working with are going to know that too, because what you're there for is to learn.
That's great. Emily, what about you?
Yeah, just never be afraid to do what you love, and take care of yourself and love yourself.
You should join them. Okay. All right, brilliant.
yes. I would definitely say ask your professors and faculty for help, whether that's in your major or your academic advisor, whoever, a professor that has nothing to do with your major who you really connect with. All of the faculty and staff, I will say at USM, want you to succeed, specifically in the theater department. So I would recommend checking in with those people. But anytime during my internship that I came across an issue, or I was worried, or I just needed some reassurance and advice, I was able to go to them, and they were very receptive, and they were like, no, you can keep going. Like, is this what you want? If this is what you want, then keep going. So like, don't be afraid to ask for advice. You don't have to have all the answers, like Brooke said.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Daniel.
Similar. One thing that happened to me when I got into my student teaching placement is I was like, wait, what am I doing? I have no idea. Like, what have I been learning the past 4 years? But what I learned was like, oh, wait, I actually do know what I'm doing, even if it feels like I'm not giving anything to where I am. But your host teacher and like your faculty advisor, they want you to succeed. And like we've heard, it's a place to grow.
That's great. Shelby.
I would say, remember why you're here. I would definitely say that, because whatever you believe, you're here for a reason, because you're in the school. And with my placement that I just went to last week, it was a pre-K 1st and 2nd grade class. And I was able to go in there, and I haven't seen that in 4 years. Mm-hmm. The summer before I came in, I was working with 2-year-olds. So I haven't held a child in quite a while. So when I got in that classroom, I was almost stunned with happiness, because I was just like, oh, this is what I've been working for. This is why I'm here. I can actually put my skills to use and also like do what I love. So, yeah.
This is great. You guys, listen, I knew when I was tasked with coming up with the panel here, I knew it was going to be great. Thank you so much for your insights, for your time, for sharing your experience with the students online, with the students here in person. I'd like to thank you, of course, officially. Get your gift cards after. And also, of course, remind everybody at home that Career Week is going on this entire week. If you need some more information, just check out the USM website, hit like and subscribe. No, that's okay. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. Also, I wanted to add one thing because you mentioned the help that's out there. The Career and Employment Hub, of course, is there to help you guys as well at home. If there are any questions and you don't want to talk to your academic advisor or your professor, feel free to stop by, ask us. We're here to help as well. Thank you so much. Go wave goodbye. Okay, bye. Thank you so much, panelists. Okay.
Thank you.